It's me. Hi, I'm the Standard Podcast Rachel Abbott. Now, it appears the V&A have gone full Swiftie and will be launching a new display this week titled Taylor Swift Songbook Trail, showcasing 13 moments from across the musician's career. This exhibit will be different though. The artefacts and costumes will be dotted throughout the whole museum. The Evening Standard's commissioning editor on the culture desk, Elle Hunt, has been down for a sneak peek. Elle, has the capital lost itself to Taylor Swift? Do you think a takeover of the V&A is justified?
I mean, I think, the capital has been in the grip of full-blown Swiftie fever since the Eras tour kicked off here in June. So she did 3 nights at Wembley in June, and now she's coming back for 5 more in August. Yeah, I feel like the Swiftie fever kind of hasn't let up. And it's kind of understandable because there hasn't really been a run of shows this big at Wembley for a while that I can think of. It's bringing massive amounts of money into the economy. People are travelling in and spending hundreds of pounds on coming to London and seeing Swift. So there is that kind of like commercial incentive to tap into it. So I think when a lot of people think of the V&A, they might think of kind of fusty old artefacts from in the Middle Ages, old brooches, old vases, stuff like that. And they do have a lot of these very old pieces in there for sure. But I think, it's primarily an art, design and performance museum. So for me, the idea of them doing an exhibition that revolves around the biggest touring artist that we have at the moment, it kind of makes sense to me actually. And it does feel really warranted because, alongside all of those historical artifacts and stuff, they do plenty of stuff that is to do with collecting things from the present. They're doing archive work at Glastonbury Festival every year. They have this rapid response collection where they're documenting stuff sort of as it happens. And if you look at some of their recent exhibitions, you've got the Naomi Campbell exhibition, which is a really good current example. There's also the Diva Show, which ended in April this year. And that kind of spanned all across history, taking you from kind of the mid-19th century to current stars like Lizzo. So it doesn't feel too tenuous for me. It does actually feel like a good fit for the V&A and the kind of direction that it seems to be going in as a museum.
Now, as you say, they've showcased iconic moments and icons before, even Naomi Campbell right now. But what makes this experience different?
This is a little bit different because the way that they've approached this is as a trail. So rather than being in kind of its own little corner of the museum, what they've chosen to do is to spread all of the pieces that fittingly there are 13 in honour of Taylor Swift's favourite number. And they've decided to spread them among all of the kind of main collections of the museum in different rooms that feel like a good fit for the particular era that it corresponds to. And the idea is that you go in, it's completely free, you don't even need to book a ticket, and you start with the Lover era, and then you kind of move through all of the main collections. So you go through kind of landscape galleries, that it stops off at a Romeo and Juliet style balcony in honor of a love story video, and it kind of moves through the entire museum in that way.
You've highlighted some of the moments, including the Romeo and Juliet balcony, but what were your standout pieces?
The custom cowboy boots, which are by Liberty Boot Co. And they are from the self-titled debut era. So her very first kind of step into the limelight. And they're these kind of baby blue cowboy boots. And they have her name, Taylor, on one boot, Swift on the other, in this very kind of old school sailor style tattoo. I really like them. And then they had the dress that she wears in the Willow music video alongside the original storyboard drawings that they used for it as well. That was really, really interesting to see. And then to round it out to 3, they also had the mossy piano from her folklore era, which is now obviously a fixture of the Eras tour. It gets wheeled out for the surprise songs. And according to Kate Bailey, who's the senior curator at the V&A and put this whole thing together, it's the first time that moss has been displayed in the V&A. It's actually live moss. So yeah, those are my 3 favourites.
Moss. That's crazy. And I read that the museum are hiring Taylor Swift experts.
Yeah, so they, a while ago actually, they put a call out for various experts across lots of different topics. One of them was Taylor Swift. They had 1,000 applicants, apparently, which is amazing. Obviously, they didn't have enough room to accommodate all of those, but they hired 4. And so 4 Swifties were really heavily involved in the song trail, kind of helping them put it all together. So the exhibition, the trail, opens to the public on Saturday, but they did a ballot of all of the Swifties who had applied for these kind of expert roles. And then they invited a bunch of them down to the exhibition early to kind of get a look at it all.
And finally, what would you give the experience out of 5 stars?
I mean, it's quite a hard one to review because it's not being curated in the kind of conventional sense, and it can be experienced in all sorts of different ways. You know, people might just be looking around the V&A and stumble across the Tortured Poet Department exhibit and kind of think, what's this? Or see, you know, her little velvet red flat cap from the cover of the Taylor's version of Red and kind of engage with it like that. Or they might choose to follow the entire trail and be really dedicated to it. So it's sort of hard to put a rating on because people will experience it in different ways depending. But I really liked it. And I think if I had to give it a rating, I would give it a 4.
You can read more about these stories and others in the Standard newspaper or on our website standard.co.uk. And that's it from this episode. The Standard podcast will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m.